Here we will create a batch file to kind of explain how virtual electricity works. And we just open up a text file and we start off with the @ sign. We're going to make a command line program of this. And behind that we enter in echo space off. On the next line we will give this program a title, so we just type in title space and then we'll call it on off. We go to the next line because this is a command line, so it will follow each line as we go down running the program. We want to add in :X or any other characters, but I choose to use :X, and this will be the start of our loop. We go to the next line and we type in the command echo and then space. Anything we print next will display upon the screen. So let's put in, since it'll start off at 0, let's go with 1. Then we'll go to the next line. We type in echo. This time we want it to turn off, so we'll put in a 0. And we go to the next line. We type in, to make a loop, go to. And we go back up to here. Then this line and this line will run as a continuous loop. When we type in :X, what happens is the program turns on, it reads this, and it knows to display anything behind echo. Then it shows the title in the program and it goes down to the next line. It says, okay, we're getting ready to have something happen here, so it goes to the next line. It reads 1. It goes to the next line, it reads 0, and then it goes down to the next line, and this says go back to here, so that's what it does. And then it drops to the next line and it does 1, then 0, and back here and back there, making a loop. So we save the file onto the desktop as a batch file, and we'll call it on off. Then we type in .bat for a batch file. We save it onto the desktop and here it appears. Now we can close the editor. If we need to or want to, we can edit this file at any time by right-clicking on it and choosing the edit function. But for now, let's simply run the file. Okay, it is running. However, we don't see anything. That's because I've chosen the properties to be as such. I have it really small. Let's make that about 20. And that will show over here that it'll take up a lot of the screen. And let me just hit OK for now. Then we'll downsize it and you will see that the program is running as indicated by the cursor and the block here moving down into the scroll bar. Let's go back into the properties and see why we can't see anything. It's because I've placed in the colors the screen text as black right here. So let's highlight screen text and we'll choose this silver, I guess, and we'll hit OK. And guess what? We see our program is running. Let's make this full screen and we see it running over here just as a loop, on off, on off, on off. And we can pull this up and pause it, and we see by holding the mouse button down on this slider block over here that the program is just 1 0 1 0 1 0 on off, in other words. And that's all there is to writing a program with just a command line. Pretty simple. Just as we did previously, now let's create a command line, but we'll use PowerShell. But we start off with add an echo. And space and then off. And we drop down and we give it a title. Let's call this Alternator. I'll capitalize that, because that's what we're going to build, is an alternator. So, since we're using PowerShell, we have to type this in. Then we give it a space. Then we put it in brackets over here. We have to say console. And then close the bracket. Give it 2 colons. And then we want to beep. After the beep, no space, open up the parentheses. We'll put in the frequency and we'll use 60 Hertz. We may not even be able to hear it because it is a low frequency. And then we have to put a comma. And then we want to tell it how long we want it to run for. So we'll start it off with 1,000. And then we close the parentheses and we save it to the desktop as a batch file. And we'll name it Alternator, I guess. .bat. And there it is. So let's run the file. Well, we don't see it doing anything or hear anything, and it did not last that long. Let's edit it by right-clicking and then choose Edit. And let's increase this right here by adding another 0 upon there. And then just hitting Save. And we can close the file, and this should make it run a little longer. Let's see. Yeah, now it's running a little bit longer. But we don't hear anything. Okay, let's go down to our sound card, open up our mixer. And here's why, because the beep that we're using is a system's sound. So we turn this on. I'm going to crank it up, and then we'll run this. And yes, we see it, and we did hear it kick on. Though we can't hardly hear the file because of the low frequency of the 60 Hertz. Okay, and it turned off. Let's go back into the file. We'll edit it. Instead of 60 Hertz, let's make it, I don't know, let's say 400 Hertz. And we'll just try that. Now we hear it distinctly. So our alternator is working. It's working really good. And that's how simple this is to create an alternator.